On tonight's Wales at 6. Travel disruption and homes without power, but Wales escapes the worst of Storm Gerretti. But there's a warning that health services are under pressure as they deal with the aftermath of the cold snap. Also tonight, Welsh pubs warn they'll have to call last orders if the government doesn't do more to help cut costs.
And we'll be live as someone very special walks through these doors later in the programme.
Hello, good evening. Wales avoided the worst of Storm Gerretti following an amber warning for snow and rain. But despite escaping the brunt of its force, it has left several hundred homes without power and travel disruption on road and rail. Tonight, we're right across the country, from the north to the west and the capital, bringing you the latest picture on the storm's aftermath. First, let's head to our national correspondent Rob Osborne, who's at Cardiff Central Railway Station for us this evening. Rob, what's the picture there for commuters this evening?
I have to say, John, I think it looks pretty normal here. I'll get on specifically about rail in a moment, but I think you're right in saying that I think the authorities will be breathing a sigh of relief, a very cold breath given the temperatures, because Wales wasn't hit as bad as some predicted it could be hit. Of course, there was disruption, as you say, to homes, to schools, to the roads. But having said that, there were some pretty bad affected areas, and I've been in one of them this morning, high up in the valleys in Gwent. From above, it looks picturesque. But what it hides is the problems on the ground. Children home from school, workers left at home, and challenges on the roads. So the snow has stopped, but there are problems, including abandoned vehicles. Up here on the heads of the Valleys Road, you will find quite a few cars that have been left on the sides of the road, but that is causing problems. So the police have turned up here and are organising for this car to be towed away, and that's happened a few times today. But despite it all, a feeling here that things could have been worse.
We got off lighter than we probably expected. Earlier this week, the forecasts shown that we could probably receive in the sort of accumulations of about a foot of snow. As you can see, it's far less than that, and so the forecast did improve gradually as the week got on. But we did still see some disruption to traffic flows last night on the highway.
I suppose a lot of people, particularly in South Wales, will looked out their windows this morning and gone, "Oh, where's the snow?" Yeah. But up here, it's a different world, isn't it?
It is a different world, but we faced a particularly challenging scenario last night because it was raining. Right, most of the day, heavy rain. Right the way through, we had teams prepared so that as soon as it changed from rain to snow, that they were deployed immediately.
Despite the gritters, those people living on side roads had to get their own shovels out. How bad was it last night?
It wasn't too bad, to be honest. After 9 o'clock, I'd say from 4:30 till around 7, it was really bad. Yeah. But anything after that was fine, really.
And this is what you've got to do then, you've got to sort of clean yourself up.
I know, brilliant.
Hundreds of homes across Wales have been left without power, and over 100 schools were closed, giving some children a chance to indulge their creative side.
Do you missing school today?
Yeah.
So what are we going to call this, art class?
Yeah, sure. I do art at GCSE, so...
Oh, perfect. So what are you going to give him a name?
Michael.
Michael?
Yeah.
Michael
the cowboy.
Michael the cowboy. I'd say Michael Fish, but you wouldn't know who he was.
As Storm Gerretti passes, there is relief that things weren't worse. The hope is the disruption will clear by the start of next week.
And Rob, for those travelling tomorrow, what's the advice?
Well, I'm not exactly Michael Fish, John, but let me give you a bit of a travel update, particularly on the trains, because we've got the boards here, and I can say, by and large, everything is on time. There's a slight minor delay to the train to Hereford and a delay also to Ebbw Vale, where we were filming today. But I think Transport for Wales, again, say it has been a difficult day, difficult 24 hours, I suppose, for them, because they've had to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And there have been some problems, clearly, with the snowfall, but also they've seen fallen trees and power outages. But by and large, most things are back to normal. However, they do say that there will be some disruption, maybe up till tomorrow, and they particularly point to the Heart of Wales line and between Shrewsbury and Birmingham. They say that is expected to be disrupted up until tomorrow. But as always, you should check before you travel, because there can be some very last-minute changes, delays or cancellations. So keep an eye if you need to go by rail.
I don't want to be a prophet of doom, but a separate warning for ice has now come into force too. How significant is that?
Yes, Happy New Year, John. Yes, it is bitterly freezing cold, and I think that is the thing. We can feel the temperatures. This is an old building now, and you can really feel the cold in here, and there is a warning for ice. Helpfully, we have a map to show you where those yellow weather warnings are. Forecasters say it is because the snow is thawing and these freezing cold temperatures overnight. There is now a widespread risk of ice, so clearly be careful when you go out and about on the roads, on the pavements, and that is expected to start tonight and go into tomorrow. So if you are going out and about, whether it's by road, whether it's by rail, or whether you're just going to go out on the pavements, take care. It is January, it is cold, and just be wary of those conditions.
OK, Rob Osborne in Cardiff, thanks very much indeed. That's the picture in the south, but parts of Mid and North Wales woke up to a dusting of the white stuff. Our reporter Ian Lang has spent the day in Wrexham and joins us from the city this evening. Ian, a day off for school children there, with several schools telling pupils to stay away.
Yeah, there were several dozen schools in the Wrexham area which were shut today. That is because it was the hardest hit by the snow, but on the coast there's no snow at all, or just rain. But the further south you went and the further east you went, well, that was a very different story. Shoveling up the snow from the streets of Corwen. Last night it wasn't heavy enough to bring things to a standstill, and locals were just getting on with daily life this morning, taking a pragmatic approach to the recent weather.
Bishire have sent staff out, and as you can see, they've cleared the pavements. The lads going up the road there now have done a wonderful job. Normally they don't get cleared, and there's been slips and falls and stuff. So fair play to them, they deserve credit for that.
Just stuck in, having to dig ourselves out the snow, you know, obviously assisting my mum everywhere because she's disabled and she's just terrified of ending up in a heat, really, to be honest.
The snow's been I had about 6 inches, and the problem is that the lanes get quite covered, and when it melts, it sort of freezes over at night, and that's the worst time, when it gets very slippy. But I'm managing well.
You might think snow was bad for business, but not for this local butcher. He said the bad weather had seen people shopping closer to home, so takings were well up.
It's boosted trade by triple the amount of people coming in, I'd say, this week. I'd say they're stocking up because they don't know how long they're going to get out, isn't it? It's hard to say because obviously you read social media and the weather, etc., and we're not sure how long we're going to be stuck in for. So yeah, it's good for everyone, really.
In North Wales, dozens of schools were closed in the Wrexham area, with a handful elsewhere. But because main routes in the region were so well gritted, people were able to get to work and there was little disruption overall. But not everyone was so lucky, particularly down lanes away from the coast and on higher ground, like the village of Bulthgwyn. Now it's clear that the local authorities have done a really sterling job in keeping the main routes open, helping to keep things going. But of course, they can't please everyone. What's this weather meant for you?
Well, we've been stuck in for quite a number of days since the New Year, and this will be the third time that I've cleared this road an hour drive. So we have managed to get out, but eventually, after a lot of work.
And the way this winter is progressing, it seems we may well be in for more cold weather like this and all it brings. And just to make a point, I mean, we travelled quite a distance along the North Wales coast. I mean, there was no disruption, the roads were clear. So this is really a shout out really for the gritter drivers and indeed the farmers who helped them keep these roads open in terrible conditions. Without them, of course, you know, things would grind to a halt. And of course, they'll be out again tonight.
OK, Ian Lang in Wrexham, thanks very much indeed. Let's head to West Wales now and our reporter Lewis Rhys-Jones, who's in Carmarthen for us this evening. Lewis, some communities in that county and neighbouring Pembrokeshire saw thunder snow and heavy downpours. What's been the aftermath there during the day?
Well, it's felt like the calm after the storm this afternoon in Carmarthen, John. After all, we down west too were preparing for what Gerretti might throw our way, but it's more or less turned to slush, of course, rain and windy conditions rather than the snow itself. But that wasn't the case everywhere, mind, because Pembrokeshire, their council did warn the public that the gritters and snow ploughs would be delayed due to extreme weather conditions, and they opted to understandably look after the safety of their staff. And then, as you mentioned, the thunder snow, which is a relatively rare phenomenon, well, they, at the end of the day, people living in the Preseli Mountains, saw thunder, lightning and snow all at once, but it quickly cleared up. However, one thing they did also have was power cuts as a result of those arduous conditions. Meanwhile, up in Ceredigion, Dyfed Powys Police were warning the public to not venture out at all and to only make journeys if extremely necessary. I know Rob has mentioned a lot about travel disruption in many parts of the country. Well, trains west of Carmarthen were cancelled until a few hours ago, but they are back running beyond Whitland now. So while we were expecting a lot of snow, it's turned into a rather calm and beautiful evening, John.
OK. Lewis, thank you very much indeed. Meanwhile, the Welsh Ambulance Service is urging people to only call for an ambulance if it's absolutely necessary. The service expects the weather to put significant demand on the healthcare system. It says it has contingency plans in place to try and deal with the pressure caused by the snow, but wants people to take extra care.
I would say to the public, don't go out unless you absolutely have to. The cold weather that we've seen has led to an increase in breathing difficulties, respiratory illnesses, slips, trips and falls, and we know that the worst of the weather is yet to come.
But the picture has been different elsewhere in the UK, and there's more on the wintry weather on the ITV Evening News.
Coming up in the ITV Evening News, Storm Gerretti's disruption, trees toppled, tens of thousands lose power, the sting of the powerful winds which battered Britain. Travel and school disruption too, as snow blew in and blanketed parts of the country. Their TikToker jailed for 9 years after causing a crash that killed a grandmother. And the Princess of Wales reflects on her cancer journey as she celebrates her birthday. All that and more from 6:30.
Well, despite the snow, life goes on, and elsewhere tonight, pub owners say they're struggling to stay afloat amid growing costs and business rate rises. UK Hospitality Cymru has called for the Welsh Government to rethink rate relief for the sector. It comes as the UK Government is understood to be rolling back on plans to increase rates for hospitality in England. Mike Griffiths has sent us this report.
The perfect pint. For many, a symbol of welcome relief. But pub owners aren't feeling it and say their costs continue to rise. Soon, the UK Government is expected to go back on its plans to increase business rates for pubs and provide new support for the sector. Campaigners here want the Welsh Government to do the same.
You know, just the company I work for, we're facing an additional £149,000 rates bill between now and April 27. It's just unsustainable, and ultimately what happens is it's the business itself that suffers. It doesn't get the reinvestment, refurbishment that it needs, and we're not able to create new jobs. Welsh Government just have to look at this again because it's unsustainable.
There are big changes this year, with business rates here being revalued. The Welsh Government says some, such as small retail businesses, may see bills fall, while others who see a bigger rise will have it phased in over 2 years. But hospitality campaigners say they're facing, in some cases, significantly higher bills.
There's a bit of a double whammy where our rate relief has already disappeared, where the re-evaluation of business rates has happened in Wales. So, for example, our rateable value has gone up significantly in this pub, which will mean about a 40% increase in our business rates this year. We just don't have the confidence that government really understand the impact of that, the impact it will have on jobs, our ability to stay open. You know, the impact, some of the changes of the last 2 years, whether it's to national insurance, whether it's to minimum wage, whether it's to business rates, whether it's to energy prices. You know, come and talk to us about what that looks like, what that means for how many jobs we can sustain and create.
As for opposition politicians, they're calling for a big rethink of how the whole system works.
We're calling basically for the abolition of small business rates here in Wales. That would really boost our high streets and the fundamental businesses that exist there, like our pubs, because pubs are central heart to our communities, especially in rural Wales. They are that focal point, so that's something that we'd be introducing. Now, this potential U-turn that the UK Labour government is bringing forward around business rates, that needs to be replicated here in Wales.
The Welsh Government says it's spent more than £1 billion since the beginning of the pandemic on temporary relief for hospitality, leisure and retail. But many in the hospitality sector feel their concerns haven't been factored in and say they'll be looking enviously over the border. Mike Griffiths, ITV News.
Elsewhere, Labour has unveiled its first pledge ahead of May's Senedd election, promising a £2 cap on all single bus fares across Wales should they be re-elected to power. The fare cap would be introduced in 2027 and cover everyone aged 22 to 59. The Welsh Conservatives say Labour is making promises it could deliver now, accusing the party of failing for 27 years to improve rural bus links.
The public tell us regularly that they want more bus services and they want it more affordable. So we're also going to be increasing the network. We'll introduce at least 100 new routes. That means thousands and thousands of new bus services every week across Wales, as well as £2 as a maximum cap for being on a bus.
And you can get more analysis from our journalists direct to your inbox with our Substack newsletter. Now, it lands on Saturday mornings, and here's how to sign up. Just scan the QR code on your screen now, where you can sign up on Substack. You only have to do it once, and after that, we'll automatically email you our weekly newsletter, where you can get more analysis and insight from our reporters on the biggest stories around Wales. It's completely free to sign up, and you can read it on your phone and tablet too. Just scan the QR code to sign up, or if you're already on Substack, just search ITV Wales. And it is well worth doing. Well, the weekend is almost upon us. It's a big sporting weekend. Let's get the latest sports news now.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Cymru Wales Sports Report.
Football, and two Welsh sides are in FA Cup action this weekend. Swansea City welcome West Brom in their third round tie, while Wrexham host Premier League opposition in Nottingham Forest this evening. Here to tell us more is our sports reporter Matt Southcombe. Matt, a big night for the club, but a stern test too.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to Wrexham, it always feels like the latest chapter in their story, doesn't it? That's the case tonight as well, but it'll be far from straightforward for them, John. Nottingham Forest are having a difficult season. They're in a bit of a relegation scrap at the bottom of the Premier League, but they still possess more than enough quality to keep Wrexham interested this evening. And the atmosphere is going to be pretty lively at the Kairas this evening.
Obviously, when the draw came out, we had a target to get to this game in good form in the league and over the Christmas period, and we've achieved that. And yeah, it's one of those ties that everybody's looking forward to. We've been waiting for a Premiership team here at the Stoke Kairas Stadium, and we've got a really good team coming here tomorrow night in Notts Forest.
And elsewhere, Swansea City will have to beat West Brom if they're to progress to the next round. It'll be a tight contest at the Swansea.com Stadium on Sunday, with just 1 point separating these two in the league. But the Swans do have the slightly better form of late, winning 2 of their last 3 matches. And sticking with football, the FAW says that it's delighted to extend the contract of Chief Executive Noel Mooney. Mooney joined the organisation in 2021, and the FAW say that football has become the most popular sport in Wales under his stewardship. He was also central to the appointments of Craig Bellamy and Rhian Wilkinson as national team managers. Mooney's new contract runs until 2030. And we'll finish with some rugby this evening, and in the last few hours, the Ospreys have given their fans something to cheer about. 22-year-old fly half Dan Edwards has signed a new contract at the region, despite attracting interest from clubs in England. Edwards' recommitment to the Ospreys comes at a time when his Wales teammates Dewi Lake, Jack Morgan and the Dragons' Aaron Wainwright have all signed for clubs over the border next season. Securing the Wales number 10 signature is a real boost for the Ospreys, as the WRU continues to press ahead with its plans to cut from 4 to 3 professional clubs. So, John, it's been a tough time of late, but something there for the Ospreys fans to be cheering about this evening.
Matt, thanks very much indeed. Now, Cardiff needs to remember its diverse history. That's according to a descendant of one of the capital's lost communities. The city's Temperance town, which used to stand in front of Cardiff Central rail station, features on tonight's episode of Vanished Wales. The area was once home to 2,000 people, believe it or not, but was demolished in the 1930s.
Those days it was dockers, steelworks. My grandfather was what they call a wagon repairer. Irish Catholics, church, chapel, Protestant, Jewish, all working together and being together and forming an amazing working class area. And I want people to know about Temperance Town, about the people who built Cardiff.
Who knew? And that is the wonderful thing about this programme. You can watch the full story on tonight's Vanished Wales. That's at 7 p.m. tonight here on ITV 1 Wales. Not long to wait. There you are. Now, we've spent a lot of the programme bringing you the latest on the weather, but in the depths of winter comes the Welsh tradition of the Mari Lwyd. Particularly popular in South Wales during the 19th century. Tonight the horse is back, and our reporter Megan Boot is there to tell us more. Megan.
Hello, you can probably hear there's a lot going on here in Cardiff tonight. What we're hearing is a group outside singing to try and come in, and there's a group inside who will give permission for them to do so. And this is the Mari Lwyd. I'm delighted to say that Carwyn Evans is joining us now to talk to us a bit about what is going on. Carwyn, can you explain what we're seeing here tonight?
Yeah, so basically what you're seeing here is a celebration of the old New Year as it was, with the days getting longer, and it's what we're doing is we're bringing that joy and that community spirit to the pubs of Cardiff. We're travelling through Pontcanna down to Victoria Park, and we're having a sing-song along the way and having a lot of fun.
Talk me through the Mari Lwyd, because this is quite a spectacle.
Yeah, so it's an old tradition that sort of dates back to the 1800s, as in here in Cardiff. We've been doing it for 35 years, and basically, yeah, it's we've jazzed it up a bit with those colourful aisles and the different ribbons and what have you. But it's just a way of celebrating the amazing beast that it is.
Now, like you mentioned, then there's quite a history to this. I think it was first documented in the 1800s, but particularly popular in South Wales in the 1900s and also areas of Gwent and Glamorgan. Why in 2026 here? Is it back and continuing, I suppose?
I think it's as popular now as it's ever been, probably. We're seeing more and more people coming out to watch and follow our tour around Cardiff. Yeah. And I think it's that genuine community spirit. As in we all love to get together and celebrate and have a sing-song, especially in Wales, land of the song. We love nothing more than a sing-song. So yeah, we love quite a few people following us, and it's an old tradition we love keeping alive, really.
Yes, because you're giving us a bit of a sneak peek now. You're going to be doing this throughout this evening. The practicalities of how you're going to get around tonight, any clues?
Yeah, so, well, we used to do it by foot, but as you know, we're all getting on a bit, and it is January, it's cold, as in we don't want to get anybody to slip, so it's a 6-part piece now, which we take apart between each venue, and we put in the back of the boot, and then we put a piece who's 6'3" on the roof rack. He's doing a good job,
briefly,
yes.
you're raising money tonight with this as well?
Yes, yeah, so every year we raise for a charity, Young Lives With Cancer, as in I think it's a charity we all we could relate to in one way or another, so it's just an added incentive for us to come out in January.
Carwyn, thank you very much. So here we are. It's going to be a real party atmosphere here in Cardiff tonight. A bit of history as we open the new year.
Perfect way to start it. Megan Booth, thanks very much indeed. Well, time now for a reminder of our top story this evening. There's been travel disruption and homes without power across the country, but Wales has escaped the worst of Storm Gerretti. There are warnings that the health services are under pressure as they deal with the aftermath of the cold snap. And it's been a wintry day. Let's get to the full weekend forecast. Here's Nick Miller.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Hello, we have a continuation of the cold weather into at least the start of the weekend. Icy with still some sleet and snow showers around, especially into the hills. By Sunday, more of us are going to see rain and a strengthening southerly wind, lifting temperatures much milder by the end of the day. Out and about first thing on Monday also, we will notice that change in the feel of things. Gerretti moving away, a ridge of high pressure, though still within it there are some rain, sleet and snow showers around for tomorrow. By Sunday, more widely wetter across the country, rain preceded by hill snow and a strengthening southerly wind, but from a mild direction. So the same period on the air mass chart here, in the cold, the blue at the moment, but then look at the change of colours as that wet and windy weather moves in, lifting temperatures and a change to much milder weather. We're not there yet, and through this evening and tonight, very much on the cold side, and still a feed of showers moving in, rain, sleet and more snow, particularly through parts of mid and north Wales from these showers, and more moving in into tomorrow morning. And this is where we're going to see the lowest temperatures, well below freezing, and some freezing fog patches around as well, where you've got snow on the ground. So Met Office yellow warning for snow and ice, further showers into the morning. The morning showers, though, will gradually ease away. Most of us into the afternoon will be dry. There'll be some sunny spells developing, probably away from where you start the day with any fog, and probably away from where you've got snow on the ground as well. So temperatures heading up to around 7 degrees or so, but turning even milder through Sunday. But remember, that will come with some wet and windy weather, mostly rain.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
And that's all for now. Hamish Ausgerry is back, though, with the late update. That's after the ITV news at 10. But from all the Wales at 6 team, we survived the storm. Have a nice weekend.